Hey there, amplifiers. Thanks for tuning in. There are so many different things that can attract our attention and consume our attention on a day-to-day basis. We have things that we've got to do, right? And then we have things that maybe is wasting our time. And then we have things that we could commit to that would make a bigger impact. And it takes a vision, it takes dedication, and it takes action to make that impact, to leave that legacy. And our guest today is someone who's inspired me and is continuing to inspire others around the country because he's making a bigger impact in the world. Now, if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to Growth Amplifiers. We are committed to sharing the best tips, tools, and strategies for optimizing and scaling your business so that you can make a bigger impact in your work with your employees, a bigger impact to your clients, bigger impact to your community, to your inner circle. It's all about how you can provide value. So I'm really excited to introduce our guest today. He is a thought leader, founder of the Impact Legacy Group, the CEO of Impact Learning Center, LLC, and a thought leader in the space, inspiring people around the country. Welcome to Growth Amplifiers, Trenton Postell. Trenton, thanks for showing up today.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much for having me today, Kenny. It's an honor to be a part of podcast and being able to connect with you, as obviously all that you're doing definitely connects with what I'm doing, even in just the word impact, So awesome to be here and look forward to spending this time with you.
Excellent. So those who may just be hearing of you and your message for the first time, if you wouldn't mind starting us off by just sharing a little bit about your background and what got you to be the thought leader that you are today. What helped you be a spark for creating an impact in the world?
Awesome. Well, got to definitely say it came from my mother. My mother was a amazing person. And, she, from the young age, had my sister at a very young age. And so she was forced to grow up a little early. And, but she always about helping her people from her family. She was a professor at a college. And she was taught freshman seminar. So it was very key for incoming freshmen to come in to the school and have a familiar face that they can trust. And she, was one of those that just loved, not just her job, but the people that she had an effect on. So from a very early age, I used to go to work with her and get the chance to see what she did for a living. And I just always wanted to be like her, wanting to just help people. And she instilled in that me for a very, very young age, Fortunately, I did lose my mother when I was the age of 18. And so one of the things I wanted to do was to make sure that I lived out her legacy of just, making sure that I had an impact on people's lives, because I knew that's what she did. So it was from a very early age, wanting to help people. And, I always knew I was going to have that type of gifting somehow, some way, no matter what I did. And so just over the fast, 8 or 9 years now, it's been able to do that in the space of entrepreneurship and through our businesses and leaderships that we are able to provide.
So you are doing some amazing things. And I'm sure your mother is so proud of you and what you've been able to accomplish. Could you share and kind of tune us into kind of some of the things that you've been bringing into the world and how they're making that impact?
Absolutely. So I'm the founder and CEO of Impact Legacy Group. Impact Legacy Group, our motto is impacting generations, leaving a legacy. And basically what we want to do is to be able to, make sure that everybody not only find their purpose, but they're able to leave their impact for generations to come behind them. And so I really believe that's kind of something that God's entrusted all of us with is a purpose and a plan on this earth. And, not only do we have it for ourselves, but we're supposed to, bring others along with us too. And what better way to do that than to also leave that legacy with people that you love and bring them behind as well. And so Impact Legacy Group is founded on that, and we actually help in multiple different spaces. The first business that I set up 8 years ago was Impact Learning Center, which I'm the CEO of. My wife is the COO, and we founded it together. And so we're early childhood education. Most people say daycare, but we like to use the term childcare or early child education because really that's what it is. 0 to 5 is the most impactful years of a child's life for his brain development and growth. And a lot of times it's very taken for granted, the importance of that stage. And so we wanted to make sure that we were able not only to create quality educational centers for that age group, but we also want to do it for the most vulnerable communities too as well. So we have our centers set up strategically in places where not only do we have diversity as far as, our affluent families, but a lot of families that maybe not normally be able to afford a quality center. And we provide quality education for everybody. And so we partner with programs like Head Start, which again handles our more needy community. Also, we deal with the state and school readiness vouchers and that kind of thing. And so we just want to make sure that everyone had that opportunity to get quality childcare because, once you give a child 5 years of good education, when they go to school, the literacy rate goes up. Obviously, their attention to want to be in school, their social and emotional skills are much better. And we have a kid that, actually goes into school, right, and wanting to learn. Their foundation is set a lot better because obviously education is that very key to them starting their life. And so what we felt that, having an impact in that space, number one, would be huge just so that we can make sure that generations to come that we have people that are literate, people that actually love to learn, because you never stop learning. You learn all the way to, I think they say you get full judgment at the age of 26. And so, so you're constantly learning. But when you have the foundation, you can learn properly, And also too, I think our society now has, changed a lot. We used to be more, communical in communities, talking to each other, and now we're very more individualistic. That with social media and being your own brand, and some of that community has kind of been lost. And so that's another thing we like to bring with these children is making sure they have a sense of family and love and community early, so it's not uncommon to them. And then when they get older, it's something that can stick with them, so it's not a stranger to them.
That is really powerful that you notice that, and you're also integrating that into how you show up in your business. There is a change within our culture, right? And you could see that when people, kids, infants are little people, when you could see that they don't have a vision or they don't have the knowledge or see a path of how they can move themselves forward, that leads to challenges. And
absolutely,
I've heard that saying, it's better to build kids than to mend men.
Yep, absolutely. Yep. And that's such a key thing. I think a lot of our society is putting a lot more investment into, retention programs in high school and adult programs in our prison systems and things. And, we really can, fork that off if we put a lot of investment early, And so early childhood and education in general is probably one of the most underfunded, places, anyway, but early childhood is definitely way underfunded. And if we really have the potential of creating the next doctors and lawyers and those people of impact that get paid literally hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. But, our educators and the people that are in this space, which is not the easiest space to deal with children, they don't get, that same reverence as the people they're creating, And so I think that because it doesn't get such a loud, noise when it comes to the industry, that's one of the things that we've come to. We've come to upset the industry and say, look, we're here, this is something that's needed, like we need our community. We need people to pay attention to what we're doing because our children are at stake, our next generation is at stake. And so we can get not only just us, but everyone around us to really understand what we're trying to do. We really feel that impact can grow a lot greater.
So speaking of that, with the change of technology and with how some of the media is also starting to be a bit more polarizing, what can parents do to make sure that they're doing their part? I mean, some think that they're doing their part by saying, well, I'll take my kid to school. Maybe I read to them, but What's the bigger picture behind that? What may some people not be seeing, whether they have their own kids or whether they might be connected with a family member that has kids?
Yeah. The biggest thing is quality time. I mean, quality time means everything to a child. Now, with us as adults, we're so busy, we work the 9 to 5 and, a lot of times you don't have as much time to spend time reading with your kids at night or giving them the little small things that they need. And so that's why, early childhood is very important because literally, our children are with us more than they are with their own families, so it's a big leap of faith for them just to trust them with it. But we're actually just supposed to be an extension of what's happening at home. And I think what's happened is now that the burden has been put on education to teach the child wholly. You heard the saying that it takes a village. Well, we're just a piece of the village, the other part of the village is the family, right? And so we're just that bridge and gap. So when the family's not able to do their part because they have to obviously have their obligations to work and take care of things, that's where we step in. But it really should be a holistic thing. And so we definitely try to do things like educate our parents about things they can do at home with their children. We do have parent-teacher conferences, which is very, very key. I mean, a lot of times you don't hear that in early childhood. You see that more in elementary, but we know we start that very early because the more you get a parent engaged in the child's education early, we hope that stays that way going from elementary, middle school, all the way through high school. And so, so just really teaching parents, that spending that quality time and even small things, reading 5 minutes, 10 minutes a night with your child. One of the things I was proud of, my wife used to read with my daughter all the time. She was reading at 3 years old, and she's now gifted and she's doing amazing, and all it was is, my wife was crazy busy. She was doing a lot of different things all the time while getting her master's degree and raising a family and taking care of her husband and cooking and cleaning, all this kind of stuff. But, you have to figure out where's your priority. And, children have to be our priority. They really do. And I think sometimes they get a little bit left behind because I think that, sometimes we think that, that if we pass the buck to someone else, then that they'll do it, but really it's each person has its own individual responsibility. And we want to hold up ours, but we also want to hold our parents and our counterparts accountable to make sure they're doing their part too as well.
Hey there, this is Kenny from Growth Amplifiers, here to ensure you get your awesome ideas into action to grow and improve your business and achieve your full potential. Take the first step by visiting growthamplifiers.com and clicking the Start Here button. Take the assessment to get your personalized score. Then select from free resources to learn how to improve your score. Don't wait. Be proactive and take action now by visiting growthamplifiers.com and clicking the Start Here button. And always keep on amplifying. Now, let's get back to the show. No judgment here for any kid or any parent, but I have come across some kids as they're maybe getting into elementary school, and it seems like they haven't learned how to read or they haven't had that practice, and I found that a little bit astonishing. My kids both, read at a young age, and so I thought it was the norm. And so seeing that it's not necessarily the norm, it can be, but it's not. It kind of gave me an awareness of there is a gap for some people, and they may not. It may just be they don't know what they don't know, or they could be thinking, well, I'm sending them to school, and they're watching videos with lessons or something. But there is, like you said, the importance of making that a priority, to be with your child and create quality time. And even if you're not the parent of that child, if you're spending time with children, giving them your attention and realizing that you're contributing to their life. You've done some amazing things with building your business, and as we're talking to potential or entrepreneurs who are growing theirs, what are some of the challenges that you've experienced from vision into getting to where you're at today, and how did you overcome them?
Absolutely. I mean, as an entrepreneur, you got to understand, one, you're going to have challenges. If you go into it thinking you're not going to have challenges, then you're not signed up for the right thing. So knowing that you're going to have challenges is key to know that, hey, I'm going to have some type of perseverance about me. You can't give up at the first challenge, for one. When times get tough, you can't give up. I mean, anything in life that's worth having is worth working for, and so, you're going to have those challenges. And so it's about you outlasting it. And the way you outlast it, for one, is you got to remember your why you're doing what you do. If you've got the wrong why, that kind of hurts. Unfortunately, many entrepreneurs go into business for money, which, again, it's not a bad thing. I mean, obviously that's a goal, to be able to provide a living and, and meet your dreams and your family and that kind of thing. But if it's at the expense of your happiness, then a lot of times, you're not going to be successful, because, our happiness or our passion really is the thing that supersedes, all those other things. And so, so when you're passionate about something, and especially as an entrepreneur, that usually helps you kind of get past those challenges. And, because your first year or so, you're going to have multiple different ones. One of the ones that most people have is money, this getting past that stage of that. And sometimes you just have to, find creativeness and try to figure out, well, how can I, supersede, this issue here? What people can I find that are doing this in my space that are successful that I can bring as a business mentor, right? I was very fortunate that I was able to bring on a few different business mentors that were not in childcare. They were in other businesses, but when business principles that are successful, they're successful no matter where you go. One of my favorite persons that I've studied is Steve Jobs, in Apple. And, his vision and his why would have superseded anything. He would have been successful with anything. And if you know all the different types of things he's had, Pixar and the different things he's got into, they've been successful because of his why, because of his principles that he's had. And so, so if you have good principles, then a lot of times your business will also be successful too as well. And so just, being able to get past those challenges, understanding your why, and then also implementing those principles every single day and being consistent, then I think you have a good chance of succeeding. And so, so when you're not making as much money in the beginning, especially if that wasn't your goal, that's not going to be a deterrent to you. You'll be able to be okay, because when it does come, it's like the money is a object of the success of your principles every single day. And so, so our principles were predicated on the fact that our goal was impacting the world one life at a time, making sure every child has quality education and that our staff feels amazing about where they work at. And so doing that every single day, everything that came from it, the success came with the business. And then us being able to reinvest back in the business, being able to do the things that, needed us so that we can grow, that became my next priority once we're able to kind of get past those initial challenges.
So speaking of which, what is that next step vision for what you're working on and bringing into the world?
Sure, absolutely. So as Impact Legacy Group, we have multifaceted business models. So we're really trying to get an impact on as many people as we can. So people is any industry, right? So obviously we started with childcare. We have brought on a couple of different brands. Scent Hound is one, which is a dog grooming, dog wellness company. Dealing with people and dogs. I mean, again, dog parents are awesome people to deal with, and just being able to have another revenue source, but also to feed back into childcare. As we were saying, childcare is underfunded. So a lot of times, with a lot of things we're doing with Impact Legacy Group, a lot of the businesses that we bring on, we're able to take those investments and put back into early childhood, which allows for us to grow our impact with children more. But going back to Scent Hound, it's Scent stands for skin, coat, ears, nails, and teeth. So in a monthly subscription, you bring your dog in, we take care of all those things for you. So we actually, the ones I'm setting up are in the Orlando market. And so we're coming there first. And then also many people are very familiar with the V Pizza brand that's here in Northeast Florida in Jacksonville. I'm opening the first one in Orlando too as well. And so that will be coming January 2023. And so again, the restaurant space and, dealing with people, and having impact on people, that's what Impact Legacy Group is growing to be. And so, so as many brands and as many companies we can bring on to our group, we just want to, push our impact on as many people as we can when it comes to helping them meet their purpose and also growing out their legacy of what they want to create for their families.
Wow. That's, as I mentioned, really inspiring, because you are out there making the difference in children's life every day. And then you also can see, I can shift my brilliance and still provide value in other areas, because you have focus and it's all aligned with that that bigger purpose, that bigger why. And that's really powerful. So as we're kind of wrapping up these thoughts, one of the traditions we have, well, actually, before I go there, are there any things you'd like to definitely give a shout out to or promote? Anything people should check out while they're kind of tuning in and learning a little bit more about what you do?
Yeah, definitely. I love you guys to check out what we're doing in our early childhood space. One of the things I do know is that right now, childcare is many families are looking for spots. And so that's one of the reasons we are expanding in Northeast Florida. And so we have 2 new locations that are opening up, one in San Marco, which is 2468 Atlantic Boulevard. And so we'll be opening later this month, that location, and also one on our north side location up off Main Street. That's 11269 North Main Street. So you check out our website, which is impactlcjax.com. You can find more information about our openings to get your children and families on the waiting list. We're really excited about bringing as many families on. And so it's just an awesome feeling anytime we enroll a new family, new children. And, what's so funny is I was eating dinner the other day. And when I was sitting in line, I was happened to see a kid. He looked about 10 years old. I'm like, this kid looks so familiar. And all of a sudden I seen his dad walk by and I was like, oh my God, this is one of my original kids I had when he was like 2 years old, And then just hear the testimony from the dad about, what his son is doing in school and how much our program impacted his life. And so it was amazing just to hear that. So we're I guess we're charged more than ever to really just continue to spread that love and family growth with the centers. And so we love to just share that with as many people as possible in Jacksonville, because we know that there's a huge need. We're going to be, expanding out to Orlando, pretty soon as well. And so as we continue to explore our growth throughout the state, because our goal is impacting the world one life at a time. And, in order to do that, you got to get to multiple different places. And so, but we're definitely just really appreciative to all our children and families that are with us. So I'll give one big shout out to not only just my wife, who's my business partner, she's great, but I want to give a shout out to all of our impact families, because without you guys, we wouldn't be where we are. So we love you guys so much. And I give out a shout out to you, Kenny. I mean, like what you're doing is great. Was just to amplify again, Growth Amplifiers, man, just what we're doing in the entrepreneurship space, but and also wanting to make sure that you're creating a place where impact can, grow to as well. And so I definitely align with you, man. So, definitely shout out to you. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to be here, man. And any way I can be a help to you in the future, man, I'm definitely down with you.
Excellent, my friend. Well, I appreciate the opportunity for you to come share your story and continue seeding that impact. One of the traditions we have to wrap up these shows is just to share one more parting piece of advice. And it could be related to anything you'd like to share. You've given some great insights already, but just something you'd like to share that you've picked up on your journey that might help with someone on theirs. Just a parting thought.
Well, I gotta, give honor to God. I mean, He's first in my life, and don't give up. Don't ever give up. Keep your faith. If you have a purpose and you have a dream, go after it. I consider myself a dream chaser. And so, if you're a dream chaser, sometimes it's a very lonely place to be when you feel like you have something inside of you, but no one else will understand. And so I just say, go after it with all your heart, your mind and soul. And know that, if you just, serve God, love your family, and do what you know is your purpose, you'll be successful. And so I just and just implore those, man, that are really out there, especially entrepreneurs, man, keep that faith, every single day, even though those discouraging days, that's when it's most important to keep the faith. And so we'll keep the faith. And in the end, those dreams will come true.
Awesome. Thank you, Trenton. I appreciate you. And Amplifiers, make sure if you haven't done so already, as always, tune in. Subscribe, share this with someone else so they can also benefit from this message. Trenton, appreciate you, and we're signing off.
Awesome. Have a good one.
To show your support, take a moment to amplify this message by sharing it online. To connect with me or gain more business growth insights, visit www.growthamplifiers.com. Thank you for your support.